apology. We pray that he is back safely from his trip. And we hope he will join us next week by the grace of Almighty God. Now I'm starting from you. Exit of Tanko Mohammed. And let me just, before your submission, he seems to have subsection 4. Let me just sit down. If the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria is vacant, or if the person holding the office is for any reason unable to perform the function of the office, and so that maybe the former CGN activated that section of the constitution by attending this section.
For some time now, the CGN has not been in public space, and of course, rife rumor has it that he was indisposed. Now, when people are like feeling down like that, you either hand over temporarily to whoever is probably next to you, or you outrightly leave vacant, and there was no official handing over to anyone. However, I strongly believe that at the point that it appeared as if it was not coming anytime soon, his recovery, he probably decided to just throw in the towel and allow someone else to take position. We pray that he gets well, whatever the situation, and wish him well as well. And that tells us we are on the rolling again in that aspect, because the judiciary must not have that lacuna. If that vacancy is there and there's nobody filling it, a lot of things will go wrong. Assignment of cases and all the rest at the highest level of the judicial activities is lacking. Has been lacking for some time. Some people will be like, oh, what's going to happen now? Who's going to interpret this? Who's going to interpret that? Setting up the Supreme Court justices to handle issues. Some of these things are within the purview of the CGN. And so it's a good one that he eventually did what was needful.
Okay. I'm coming with that, the same question I'm asking. That exit. And like I said, I want to comment, he seems to have activated the section 231, section 4 of the Constitution. He seems to be incapacitated, so according to him.
See, I just have a different opinion. The time he decides to activate that particular section, it's an inauspicious time. That place has been vacant for, there's been a very dull activity in that arena for a very long period now. I think he knew it. He knew that he was incapacitated all along, not just now. And if he knew he was incapacitated all along, why then? Why then must he have waited until now? He waited till now because, in actual fact, I believe that he didn't want to leave like he left. He only left because of what happened between himself and the 14 justices. He knew the thing was boiling over to a point. If the justices went ahead and accused him face to face, that there are certain things that he should have done that he had not done, and that borders on corruption. If you look at all that, and he knew that if the thing was continuing that way, one way or the other might be removed.
Okay, Larry, but did you see? I wanted to put it to further, but do you see like really said, his unavailability on the bench? Do you see it as being the basis behind the allegations? Maybe because somebody else was acting and he wasn't too well, he was not too available to handle that office.
Well, the long and short of it all is that he was incapacitated. Now, if he was in his best elements, there's a way, in Nigeria, there's a way people maneuver such things. He would have his own kitchen cabinet, kitchen staff, who would cover tracks. But as things are, he has not even been up and able to get those tracks covered like that. And so, whatever it's worth, he has left that way, but that does not stop investigations. They are going to investigate those allegations.
Okay.
I think it doesn't stop. Okay. And so people are even saying, I mean, I read it in the papers that it should be still investigated.
We'll get to that. We'll get. So look at it. In the first time, the elevation of Honorable Justice Tanko Mohammed on January 23, 2019, the controversy struded in controversy, and at a point, some people felt he shouldn't have
Then
made
the first instance.
the first CGN.
Yes. See, if you look at his antecedents, his certificates, that's why people said, in the first instance, he shouldn't have been there as Chief Justice. But if you look at what happened to Onogen, when Onogen was swept out, you see that everybody had the euphoria that somebody must just come in. At least that there must be a vacancy. There shouldn't be any vacuum in that area. And that's why he came in at that time. And he came in, well, as far as I'm concerned, at that time I felt it was just somebody, maybe job for the boys. Let's give this one to our own man. Our own man, either qualified or not qualified, let him have it. But if you look at what he has done so far, the trajectory, you see that he has not performed. There are so many things that are left undone in the judiciary. And that's why the judiciary today, if you look at the common man today, the common man is not benefiting from the judiciary. And that's why the lawyers are busy crying that, okay, let's do something about it. You see what how would I put it now, the challenges put before the asking Chief Justice now, that there are certain things he has to do. And if you look at those things, they are fundamental to the judiciary, have been seen as the final arbiter.
Okay. Like, the President Buhari, when he was swearing in acting CGN, Honorable Justice Luka Ariwola, there's this statement, and he said he received letter of resignation of the outgone CGN with mixed feelings. What does that statement look to you?
Well, everybody knew that was Mr. President's candidate. Like we were just discussing now, he was not the best qualified for that position at the time he was picked, and a lot of people had smart feelings about the removal of Onoge in the first place. That it was politically motivated, and that the man did not actually commit those offenses leveled against him, and he was outrightly removed, and Tanko came into position. And so for the president to say mixed feelings because it wasn't as if he wanted that position of Tanko at this time. This is the transition period. This is a period they have a lot of things they want to do by reason of that office. And so they to now school a new person is like
interpretation of the mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings is like telling the new person, look, you must understand our body language, that this person was our person, but he had to leave, and so certain things you must be ready to genuflect towards us.
Bringing out words from the president.
No, he said it himself.
Wait, mixed
He said
feelings.
mixed feelings. You shouldn't have mixed feelings. It's a system. It's a system, and once somebody leaves, somebody should replace. So if in his own words, he said he has mixed feelings, he's expressing to that person that, look, it is not as if you are desired. You have happened or not.
Yeah, let's look at it.
You happened
mixed feelings. Once you say mixed feelings, it means we don't want this person to leave at this time. I'm not happy this person is leaving at this time. I'm not happy that you are coming in at this time. I'm not happy at the whole situation.
You're getting words from the president.
No.
That's the meaning of mixed feelings.
That's when you say mixed feelings. It means you're not happy about what is happening. You're not happy that this guy is good, but he has to go. But the guy knew that if he waited a little bit longer, things will change. And he might be affected in such a way that the president will not be able to defend him. And that's why he said he should leave at the time he left.
Larry just spoke.
They just gave him soft landing. Let me put it that way.
No.
It's soft landing.
But we all need Tanko Mohammed. He's been out of the country for some time.
If Tanko
on and off.
If Tanko Mohammed just left, and when he's leaving now, the president is now giving him honors.
He's qualified as a
That or not should have come. Yes, before now it should have come.
All the former CGN has.
Yes, but they had it before they left.
Okay.
Not after you have left. You just like saying posthumous award.
Well, it's not there. It's
not there. I must say just like.
Larry, you just touch it, and I will also have the reaction of Fadipe too. Call for probe. 1, coming from the NBA. 2, from Central Republic of Nigeria. 3, from civil society organizations. Like Raleigh said, he said his resignation. The call for probe.
The probe.
By those civil society organizations.
All
NBA,
those organizations are calling for probe. Some in tandem, some differently on other issues.
Okay.
Now, first and foremost, a lot of people, and in some of these groups, believe in the first place he does not have the pedigree for that office. And so whatever actions or inactions that have been taken adversely as a reason of that occupation of that position, they believe even the commander-in-chief is culpable because in a square hole. And so I ordinarily look at beyond the corruption aspect that look, there are some things you don't find at that level of integrity chosen position. That position chooses you such that some things are not expected of your person. And so when such things are seen, they look at it as part of the deficit that person actually lacked the merit to occupy that position in the first place.
It's a very good look at still the same question, but look at part of the acquisition is this. I'm just abandoning his responsibilities as CGN and diverting funds. Without that alone, look at the reaction of Johnson, that is the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria. According to I'm quoting them now, justices are awake from slumber.
We just said this some few minutes ago here. This man has not been acting at all. The place has been left in vacuum, and things have been going down and down the drain. It got to a point right now. The acting chief judge now has a duty up his sleeves.
Mostly was not one of was among the 14.
He was among the, So there's one thing that he has to do now. They have already told him. The NBA told him that look, now that you are there, set things straight.
Okay. Larry, one of the response of the outgone CGN to the petition written by by the 14th, maybe I don't know. I want you to is he apparently in support of the petition again? I'm quoting him now. One of the response: if any of them are not purchased, right into the vehicles, but refurbished, the external internal auditors are here in the court to take those that bought them up over it. You see it as an indictment on himself or a fee saving?
Well, there will always be fall guys in situations like this. And so whoever the purported contractors were will know they will have their days in court. Excuse me. Now, if you look at it, he was the one that issued those things to the court. And the allegations that some were refurbished. And so he's saying whoever's name is there should answer for it. He's exonerating himself, and so some other people will take the fall. It happens a lot in politics.
Now, Dayo, you see, I'm surprised at this statement of the advanced CGN. You see, I'm surprised because if you are superintending over a particular place, and there are certain anomalies.
The box up on the table.
Yes, there are certain anomalies in that place. I believe that you ought to know. You ought to know that whatever it is that you are doing there, the box stops on your table. And when you are allocating all these vehicles out, shouldn't you have gotten these vehicles tested properly so that what they are giving you is the correct thing and taking decisions at that time? Why now they're not telling us that somebody has to pay the price for what he approved? What he approved really. Okay. What he gave to you, what you said he should give to you, he gave something else to you, and you approved it and you took it and you now said he should be responsible for that. What were you looking at when he was submitting, when he was delivering those vehicles? I mean, that's not an excuse to me. It is not an excuse.
Larry, so I just mentioned it, challenge before the actor CGN. Look at Dariwola. Don't forget, he was one of the 14. Now the ball is in his court. You want to challenge to him?
Well, at that level, you see, a lot of things went wrong in the last few years in Nigeria. Things that were not supposed to have been affected by partisanship had gotten involved and immersed in so much politicking. The judiciary is one of such institutions. And in terms of appointment, in terms of promotion, in terms of assignment of cases, a lot of things were alleged to have been happening at that level in the course of the superintending of that area by Tanko. And so these are some of the things that this person should address. You see, when you assign cases and people within the judiciary themselves know that you are picking some people to handle some cases based on their affinity, their closeness, and their understanding of your body language and probably the body language of the chief executive, then you can't expect justice to be served. And that's an institution that is supposed to serve justice at all times. And so a lot of confidence has to be built by the new CGN. Confidence by his colleagues, confidence in terms of integrity in choosing things and assigning cases. So all of this would probably rearrange and realign the activities of that judiciary.
Imagine.
I know you
imagine
an agenda for
a case determined by one court and brought to another court, this same case, and predetermined, and you are giving a judgment that's against the other judgment in a way that shouldn't have been of the same jurisdiction. I mean, these are the kind of things that happen in judiciary. So the public,
the
coordinator, yes, and you can imagine the public now has lost confidence.
The High Court in Bayelsa, I know, like I just said, sanity. Okay, discipline, sanity.
That's what I want to call it now.
Okay.
Sanity. That's,
okay.
We expect the new CGN to bring sanity back into that system, to allow people to have confidence again in that tier of government, to believe that, well, for those periods of time that the things were not right, that wrongs will be right now. Because a lot of people would just believe that the moment you get cases to that level, you are at the mercy of whoever is in charge to determine your fate. Not necessarily facts of the case, not necessarily what you bring as evidence to the courts. And that's unfortunate. It's most unfortunate.
Well, shall we go to the next topic? And I'm coming to you. Samfara Governor's directive to season acquire guns.
Yeah.
That statement to you, coming from a sitting governor.
Yeah, from a sitting governor. He must have been driven to the wall.
Driven to the wall?
Yeah, I think he was exasperated. He was, how would I put it now? He was filled to the brim. And didn't know what to do. He had no power over security in that state, because the federal government has power over security. And he knows that whatever is happening in that state, the things that were getting worse. He would cry all the time, just like Zulum did. Nothing will happen. And so he was just driven to the wall and say, okay, I think now, let me tell these people to carry gun. But the point is this: when you ask people to go and carry guns, they must have obtained license.
Okay. Before we go to that, Larry, that's statement from another governor. Vis-a-vis, let's look at the statement from the other governor and sometimes the action from an Akerulu of Ondo State on Amatekun.
Who feels it knows it. And he's not the first person to say
he's not
this.
the first person.
He's not the first.
No.
As a matter of fact, Governor Otton has been saying this
Over
for years.
Over and over.
And till last week, they still kill these people. These people come, kill, overrun their land. You see, this is about land. These bandits are chasing people from their land, their communal lands. They burn their houses. They kill them. So they don't want them to come to farm again. They don't want them to live in those places again. There are issues of communities where once they chase them away, they occupy their homes. They take over their homes. And so there is a suspicion that some people, highly placed people, are behind these bandits. El-Rufai said, look, you know where these people are. Shortly after the train attack, he said, you know where they are. Go and off them. There's no reason to leave murderers and allowing them to stay on. But nothing happened. So, Autumn said it. The governor of Katsina said it. And it's because they are the people feeling the heat and the pangs of these attacks. They are the ones feeling it. These people come into their communities with sophisticated AK-47 rifles.
Okay. Yes, sir, let me aside that, let me remind you of the one made by even the one of the other statesman, a former chief of army staff for that matter, Danjuma.
Yes.
Are these symbols we don't see?
No, you see, they are symbols we don't see because we are not there. He who feels it knows it. If you are in that community, in the various communities that their people are being maimed and killed, you know what it is. You are not safe when you are on the road. You are not safe when you are in the house. You are not safe anywhere. And so when these people feel that, what can we do again? You have cried to the government is not doing anything about it. So now we have to defend ourselves. And the only way you can defend yourself is not by sticks and machetes. The only way you can do that against these people is through the guns that they are using too. But let me ask you this question again. How many Fulani herdsmen or killers or abductors, when they find AK-47 on them, how many of them have been convicted? How many of them have been convicted? The president gave a directive that nobody must be in possession of firearms, if not officially sanctioned to do that. But they have caught a lot of these herdsmen carrying AK-47. What have they done about it? And this is why these people are so, they feel that they are not being, their own cases are not being looked into at all. Nobody's thinking about them. And that even it seems as if the federal government is backing these people who are carrying this AK-47. So what can we do? We can't cry to the government. The best we can do now is to defend ourselves.
Like one of the directives the government also gave is shooting motorcyclists on site, banning of motorbikes, and selling of petroleum products in certain local government areas. And okay, you see that as having any effect on?
I am not being selfish, but I think governors and administrators in the Southwest should seriously look into this. The first time that Raji Fashola removed those cyclists from Lagos, some of them decided to relocate back to the north. Now, entering Adamawa with your bike, they drop you at the border of the town and tell you a bike is a no-no in Adamawa State. You can't come in with this. First, you must accept. That's number one. Number two, you must call a community head in your community that will attest to you being a good person and not a Boko Haram.
In Adamawa State?
Yes. So if they knew what their citizens had become over time, and so they have curbed it that way, and we are welcoming those people to come with their motorbikes to our communities. Matawale said, look, those areas we say you cannot ride motorbikes, anyone you see on a bike there, just put them down. Excuse me, because these people travel in convoy on their motorbikes, carrying ammunition, and they are not spirits, and they are watched till they go and launch attacks where they are going. And we are saying there is no collusion in this matter. So they are frustrated. They have realized there is an agenda against them in some of those communities, and so it is for the communities to rise against themselves. For instance, the number of those people is not much. It's the ammunition they carry that gives them strength of number. So if 10,000 people, a community of 1 million, the 10,000 people can overrun that community of 1 million because they are
Less than
carrying
10,000.
ammunition. So if 500,000 is holding ammunition out of that 1 million, the 10,000 will run. So that's why he's saying, look, go and pick up arms yourself. So if 100 of them are coming and you have a community of 1,000 people, they run back. But they believe they have some support that is telling the right people not to own guns, and so they can just come in with their own gun and overrun those communities. They are taking lands for some specific purposes. Selfish, ethnocentric. Those attacks are not as if they are particularly looking after. Look, these people even kidnap and collect ransom. In a country like now, we are acting like we don't know how to get them. It's unfortunate. People are paying ransom every day to get their people released. They are getting kidnapped every day. And we are saying we are talking about security. What security? It's unfortunate, but we pray.
Some law enforcement agents were even caught going between the bandits and the community. So what are we going to take? It seems as if government is in practice support of all this.
You can't government or some
bandits,
yes.
If you caught them and nothing is done about them, then what do we come to? Which conclusion do we come to?
Have backbones.
You see, if you caught them and you are doing nothing about them, and some others are caught again, nothing is being done about them, people are beginning to lose their confidence in government. They don't do anything about them. Look at a case I read watched on the internet recently. A gunman came into a church and pulled out his gun and started shooting. But there are some other members of the church that had guns on them too, and they started shooting. They were able to overcome that man and kill him. So he couldn't wreak havoc the way he wanted to. And that's the kind of thing. If you know the community you are going to, these people also have guns. You be careful. You are wary of going to that community. If you are going to a bus, you want to go and hijack a bus, and you know these people who are in the bus who carry arms, you are careful. You don't want to die.
Larry, taking that from what I just said, aside a kind of a collusion or kind of bad eggs, you see these Nigerian security agencies being overwhelmed with there, northwest, northeast, southwest, south. You see them being overwhelmed?
No. There must be a command structure. If there is no command, there is no reaction. You don't just stand up and say, oh, they are fighting there, let me go. No, it's not the military approach. Somebody must give direction. Okay, get up, go there and act. Beyond that, if they don't come to attack you, you can't do anything unless you are told to move. So it's the commander-in-chief that is to tell them to move.
But on many occasions, the president, just like I said, has given directives. Flush them out, get them out. He has, and all of those things he has done is change the apparatus.
When he gives,
aside that, he gives directive.
When he gives those directives and the directives are not obeyed, what does he do? What has he done so far? You give a directive and that directive is not carried out, and you see this is happening every day. Shouldn't you move in? Shouldn't you do something more drastic than what you are doing?
He has changed security chiefs.
It's more than that. You should have done more than that, my friend.
Like
for example,
yes.
if you know these people you are going to put there, give them about maybe a month. Give them directive. If in that month they are not performing what they have to do, bring someone that you know can do what you want him to do. Yes, his cabinet, he has a what do you call it? It's a kitchen cabinet. He knows how he picked the kitchen cabinet because he knows these are people who can work with me. Then you know those people who can do what he has to do within the military. He's a military man too. What's a military man? God, what's a military man?
We are not.
we
are not being sincere with ourselves. You see, we all see even America as it is. When America has a serious issue of security, everybody are all on their toes. They are on their toes. Those attacks that you've seen, you will see that every 10 minutes they give you updates. So if they say they attack the community, the next thing is like we are waiting for those people to escape.
Escape before you get there.
Okay. You swoop on them. Sting operations. You see Barack Obama in his days, when they killed Osama bin Laden, he told us every detail of that activity. He was with them. He was watching. So if Mr. President says, okay, go and do something, has he come back to tell us, I watch every minute and move of these people? You told, there was a time he said, okay, the IGP should relocate to Zamfara. And the man moved to Nasarawa. And those ones felt Nasarawa was where the attack was coming to them. So what are we talking about? You are told to relocate to the point of crisis. You went to the next state where those ones believe that's where the attackers are coming from. Funded and ammonized by some forces. It's unfortunate. We are not ready yet.
This action by the Chief of Defense Staff, Lucky Rabo, he said, I believe it's not the right way to go. The question was, which way to go? I don't
expect to
see acquiring the guns. That's what he's saying. Yes. In response to what the governors have said, and they said it's not the call was. He said, let me continue. He said the call wasn't right, and it's not the right way to go.
What would you expect him to say? What would you expect him to say? If he agrees with the governor that people should start carrying, he has lost confidence in himself. He has given up.
Like I said, and you see them not being overwhelmed.
They're not overwhelmed, okay, because the things they have to do, they are not doing. That's the point. Those who are supposed to give directions about what to do, they are not doing what they have to do. You see, there was a time they said some men in the military, some rank and file in the military, they were shouting out that things were happening within their commands, and that people are giving them what they are not supposed to do, and they are suffering. What they have to do, they don't get directions to do them. And what they're not supposed to do, they get dressed to do them. But you know what happens within the military or within any armed forces? You are not supposed to talk. You just obey commands. But when these commands are not coming, and you are being killed every day, it will come to a point that you'll be so unbalanced that you have to shout out. And that's what they were doing at that time.
Various allegations by the rank and file exactly said that they have the strength and capacity to off these people.
To flush them out.
But that if they want to go after them,
they cannot.
Tell them they can't.
They can't.
Because they don't have instructions to so do. And those ones will now swoop on their camps and start killing them.
Is that a rumor?
No, they did their videos. They did their videos. It was wrong. Some of them were court-martial. But the truth is, they said you can't just be wasting our lives like this. There are allegations that once they are given instructions to go, somebody snitches on them, and those people attack them because they know how they are moving.
The directive have been given, and this directive are giving them, that's also giving the other side.
Sabotage is sometimes somewhere. We I don't know. We call it a rumor.
No, we have not looked at this.
There are contacts from some of them.
Do we even have military intelligence?
That they
controversial if you have military intelligence, I think these things should have been done before the action is taken. They would have gotten these people. They would have had that this man
round them up
and disbursed.
Look, in Nigeria, we must say the truth as it is. If a Gumi visits these people, you are saying you don't know where they are, and it still makes case for them.
Now,
so why are we saying we don't know what it is? Somebody is defending them.
Somebody said something.
Somebody is protecting
that we know where they are. Somebody was saying it in the government that we know where they are.
But El-Rufai said it himself. He said we know where they are. The military, you have the surveillance on them. So what are we? But somebody has not told them to go. Somebody somewhere has not told them.
Instead of flushing them out, you now go and flush villagers.
You are supposed to kill those who are killing
the villagers.
Said in error.
What kind of thing is that?
So it's unfortunate.
This call by the chairman, Southern Governors Forum,
for CCTV.
No, CCTV. No, before the CCTV now. He recently, yesterday, state police. Who is afraid of state police?
Some are afraid of the state police.
How? Why?
They are afraid because part of the their hands. They have their own men on ground. They know how to get. If you are talking about information now, their own men get information to them. But the moment you have state police, they know the nooks and crannies of their own state. So any counter attack that you want to do within that state, the state police can counter you and know exactly what to do. But they are afraid that it may be the governor's, it may be under the governor's directive to command the state police. And that's exactly what they are running away from. That the governors may use it for political reasons. But that's not a good reason for us not to have state police. State police, if you have state police, all these things we are talking about would have ended a long time ago. Because I can't see, if I have a state police, my own men on ground, men that know the villages, the hamlets, the everything, and you see your people being killed, you don't just stand idle and watch. No. But you have people who do not even have any affiliation with that, with the villages and things like that. Whoever gets killed, gets killed. But with the state police, they have the affinity with their own people. And that makes security better. But those who are afraid because they are the people who give commands. And like you said earlier, they are not giving commands.
Larry, I'm still on that. Nigerian independence, 60-something years ago, the insinuation that we are not right for state police,
it could be subject to abuse, yes, but you see, what we need are strong institutions.
But the merits.
The moment we have, yes, the fact remains that if the federal police had been trustworthy, the agitation for state police wouldn't have been there. But you can imagine a situation where a state commissioner of police was to become IGP, and so you had to remove some 30-something superior officers for that. So you have destroyed that institution. You cannot enlist trust in that kind of institution again, because all those people who have built a career over the years, you have to truncate it because of the ambition of one person that you want to promote. That happened in the lifetime of this past administration. The Kano State's police commissioner became IGP within months of the administration. And so a lot of people, a lot of heads had to roll.
Larry, it's not only in the police. It's not in the it's happening all over.
So at the end of the day, you discover people lose interest. They don't trust.
There's no system.
Do well or right as regards their affairs, and that's painful.
Perhaps your last take on this topic. The area of the cargo of Yoruba land, Ghana Dams, also threw his weight behind a Matawani, governor of Zamfara State.
Yeah.
You see implication to the coexistence of the country.
You see, people are frustrated.
From the south, from
people are frustrated. Frustration. That's what is happening.
What implication?
If people have been killed every day,
have to hold guns.
If people have been, look, we are just talking about the implications. The implications in the beginning, you might have a lot of deaths and things like that. But when we wake up, when we start rising to the occasion, we discover that it will make this society more stable. I'm telling you that. More stable? Yeah, more stable. Because you are going to be afraid. You don't know. You don't know what that person is carrying. You are afraid to attack him because you don't know what is carrying.
You see, when people talk about this issue of gun issues, I
want to promote gun running and everything.
No, you don't get.
Don't try gun running now.
Truth of it is this: because accidents happen, don't we still drive and buy cars? So, policemen carry gun, don't they? Soldiers carry gun. Customs people carry gun.
Herdsmen carry gun.
Some people can lose it amongst them too. You have heard of about they'll say crazy cop that some cops that will
crazy
say
cop that
got drunk or something. Yes, but he got a gun officially. So you profile people who think they have the capacity, and look, if you are entering a street as a bandit or a criminal, and you're not sure what might come out of those places, you're careful. But in a situation where you know those people are helpless, the government has helped you to remove guns from even those who had licenses. They withdrew it and said, drop your guns for us. So when you are entering, you know, it's 1/10 that they probably will resist you. We can't continue like that.
Your last take on this topic before we go to...
We can't take
honestly, I support Matawali. Yes, government must do something about it because the way things are going on now. You see, street urchins carrying guns. And and can shoot at any time. So look at, forget about bandits. Look at our own thugs around. Ordinary thugs carry gun around now, openly. Look at the attack on Oitola in Elisha. Look at what happened to Aregbesola the other time too. In Ogarage. Things are happening. They are carrying guns all over. And they are talking about gun running. Gun running is already on.
Some other time we'll have discussion on that. Shall we go to the top topic, time is against us? And then I'm coming to you. 2023, panic in political parties over defections. Some people will tell you the alignment. Some people will say on what ground.
I don't see anything. It's like it's just a drama of the circus. Because I don't see the difference between 6 and a dozen. You just use semantics to define
no,
it.
No, I have a dozen.
No,
how was that a dozen?
Larry.
Please come on. That's the truth.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Truth.
Let me tell you something. Saraki has been in APC.
No, but we have new people.
He's back.
No, we have Labour. We have
wait a minute.
Peter being Labour. And
we have
Kwankwaso in NNPP.
You don't get what I'm saying. Atiku has been presidential candidate of APC before. He's now the presidential candidate of PDP. So you are now telling me what's defection? It's the same thing. Same thing. Everybody just
look at even the party.
Once you know, look, your calculation is what people are doing. That look, wait a minute. Are we sure there is hope where we are going? If there is no surety there, selfish. So we want to come to you, sir. Please arrange a stage. It's just a drama.
I'm coming to you. Progressive to conservative. That is Larry's opinion. Progressive to conservatives and conservatives to.
We are the progressives. We are the conservatives.
So people are asking. People are asking.
Look, I think we should clap ourselves here.
What it
well, we should clap ourselves because there's no divide. Look at the party hierarchy in PDP, the party hierarchy in APC. What do we have there? PDP in APC, APC in PDP. So what are we talking about? If you have somebody defecting from one place to the other, it's just for personal reasons. It doesn't remove anything. They're just we are still playing the same old politics.
Idealism.
Idealism. Where's the idealism? Where's the idea? Who has ever provided the idealism in this country since the Awolowo days, since the Sardauna days? Who has ever provided it?
A close semblance of it is the Labour Party now, because it's a new one, it's a new idea, and you know that because there's a fusion between organized labor, you have within Labour Party now, you have NLC elements, you have TUC elements, and you have some of these organizations as part of the labor movement. So beyond that, that is trying to portend a new movement kind of thing. I don't think any other defection is beyond pepper on your sauce, and that's it. People want to butter their bread. They want to fester their nest politically and not be left out. So that's what we are saying. It's a drama, and at the end of the day, you'll discover mostly those things don't reflect in the election results. I was watching statistics of primaries of political parties before the last election, and I was like, wait a minute. When the parties were having their primaries, a party on its own during primaries had over 1 million voters picking the candidate for that party in the election. And at the end of the day, when it was the general election, they were having like 300,000 votes. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to those people who are party members that voted 1 million? So people are just doing all these things to take bread and butter.
Let me back to you. We are almost. I want to look at where a state leader, Yaya Bulai, Kebbi North. He's a state leader for majority party to minority, and we also learned that Adamalero Kebbi Central, in fact, instrumental to the backer of the current governor, and now opting out of a majority party.
All this, like I said earlier, they are for personal reasons. Personally, if I can't achieve my ambition in a particular political party, and I see an opening in another political party, I go there and I say I want to carry my people along with me to that particular political party. And those people are following them. They are just following them because they know what they are getting from these various political leaders too.
Okay.
That's the point. So it's for personal reasons, all of us, for personal reasons. Look at this election that's coming right now. What happened in Ekiti? What happened in Ekiti is an indication of what's going to happen on the national level if you're not very careful. People will start buying votes.
Okay.
The INEC was there, ICPC was there, EFCC was there. What did they do?
Well, the time is against us, and we hope to back tomorrow.
Thank you very much for having me, and I thank God for bringing me here safe and sound.
And you're going to be here safe and sound.
Thank you.
By the grace of God.
Amen.
Thank you for having me. I have been a bit under the weather, but we'll get over that by next week by God's grace.
I'm happy you are here, you are around. And until tomorrow, when we hope to be back in the newsroom. My name is Oladayola Nipekun. Good evening.